with Phorge, a self-hosted collaborative software development. I'm going to show you how to install it to use it as a Git server to control your Git repositories. And obviously, again, quick reminder that I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. You can visit ojambo.com, go to watch the menu live summit. You can see the topics for this and upcoming tutorials. And if you're free to join the live chat, post anything about programming, lifestyle topics. And as you can see here, the live stream is on this channel. You can simply join there, post your live request, or you can simply watch the video. It's also embedded in this article. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Okay, going back to Phorge. So Phorge is an open source software collaboration tool. It's free, it's open source, and of course you can use it for code review, bug tracking, and it's a modern continuation of Phabricator, which was built by an open source community, ideal for individual developers, startups, and large engineering teams. In this post, I'll walk you through what Phorge does, how to install it in a system that already has PHP 8.4 and MariaDB. I'm also on Fedora Linux 42, and where you find extra learning resources, including books, courses, and tutorials. Okay, so as I said before, it's self-hosted, open source development platform that includes Git repository hosting and browsing. That's what we're very interested in. You can do code reviews, which using a tool called differential, issue tracking and tax tracking using manifest, and wiki and document system using friction. Project planning, boards, custom workflows, and automation. Because it's open source, you can modify and extend it however you want and host it on your own infrastructure for total control. Now, to be fair, this tutorial might take a while because I had some issues installing Phorge. Now, I installed it on my local system. I already have Apache running. Obviously, I have PHP 8.4, I have MariaDB, and it was a little bit of a pain. So that's why, if you notice why I have so many screenshots, I'll explain to you. So you know what, instead of me talking, let's get started in this tutorial. Okay, so the first thing you want to need is you need to download and basically make a folder, which, as you can see here, I've already created a folder mounted up in partition. It's called Phorge. So what I did is I already cloned the Phorge itself from the GitHub page. Sorry, it's not from GitHub, it's from wephorge.it. You see it's already here. Then I cloned you also need Arcanist. I also cloned that as well. So then what happens is you're supposed to create the Arcanist and put it inside your folder path. I can't remember if I did that. I might have not done that part, but it works perfectly fine without it. And then make sure you have your PHP dependencies, and you can also install it using Composer. I can't remember if I actually did this. I don't think I did this. All I did was the way I did it was I simply just downloaded them here, and as I showed you guys before, use depth 1 because you don't want to get the entire Git history, you just want the top level one. So that's what I did for both of them. Then the next thing I did was, obviously you need to create a database. You need to create a database and a database user, and very importantly, you see when you grant privileges, make sure it's Phabricator with an underscore. This will allow it to create whatever database database tables, databases and database tables that it needs, because it needs quite a lot of database tables. And I think also creates its own weird database. The structure it does is really weird. I'm guessing that's a leftover, So with that said, let's create the database user. So I'm going to use PHP MyAdmin to already created PHP MyAdmin, but you can follow the instructions here. It's pretty straightforward. Let me show you what it looks like right now. So you can see I've already logged in with a specific user. I created this one, Phabricator, and the permissions for this one, you will see it has permission. You see it's just a Phabricator. That's the remember it's a fork or a continuation of Phabricator. So if we go here, I don't know if this will show me my permissions. This is in settings maybe. Okay, it doesn't tell me what I want, but that's perfectly fine. So let's just go back to home. Do I go back to link? No. Oh, this one here. Sorry, I didn't realize that's how you do it. So we can how do I go back to, I don't want to log out. No. Navigation panel. No, that's not what I want. What's this one? Reload. Okay, I don't know why I can't. Oh, it's back here, so I have to get rid of that. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it's a little weird in the way this works. Oh, server. No, that's not what I want. Oh, so weird. This is one of those things when they have fancy, they make things fancy. Anyway, the point is, I'm trying to show that you see you have everything here that you need. Let's remove this. Okay, so there we go. The point is, we have we just have a Phabricator here. That's all you need to that's all you need to worry about. Okay, so we have a database there, so that's fine. Oh, did it open up here? Okay, that's weird. All right, let's go back to the command line. So after you have cloned the Aconist and Phorge, what you need to do then is, I said I'm using Apache and MariaDB on my local system. So next thing you need to do for virtual, you need to create a virtual host. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm gonna open this up in the text editor. I'll zoom in if it works. There we go. So virtual host, you see the path, the actual path to wherever you have this. Obviously in my case it will be /mount/temp/forge, and then you need to tell it needs to have the path of the Git core. So you need to tell it where that is, and then you need to add this index.php ? It tells you this when you actually run this. And then you need to also, I would recommend you create one for HTTPS as well, and you'll see why later. And then I have require all granted, and the custom error messages in case something goes wrong. So you will need to add this. So it will tell you, and that's why I said that's one of the problems I didn't like about this, because you have to manually stick stuff either in the command line or using some GUI. There's a lot of quirks with this program. So after that, and here's where it gets even more weird. So after that, you have to go inside the, you have to drop to the command line for some reason, and you're going to stay in the command line quite a bit. So let me actually, oh, I think I already have the command line here. I should get rid of this. Oh, no, I did not. Okay, I'll do it again. Oh, I got to make smaller. Okay, there we go. I'm going to close one of this because we don't need two of them. I mean exit. Let me clean this up a little bit. I'll zoom in. So I'm going to cd into Phorge. Okay, so this is it here. And then what you do next, you need to you need to add these files. You see the mysql.host, so you run /bin, so obviously it's a bin, and then it has this called config. Where's the config here? This config, which will create it will create the config file for you. And the config file, you can do it manually. I prefer to do it manually. It's actually in the config folder here, and it's in the local, and you see local.json file. So let's open up this local.json file. I'm just doing this a little bit fast, so we go much faster. We don't waste time. I'm going to use the text editor as well. So it's opened up. Let's check out the text editor. So what you need to do is, you see the MySQL. This is what this command will do here: bin config set mysql.host, set mysql.user, set mysql.pass, and then after that you need to type storage upgrade. So as you can see here, it's localhost 3306 Phorge, and the MySQL user and MySQL password. So the problem with this is you can't tell it to use a different database or something. It will create its own, so it needs to have the permission so it can create the database as well. That's one thing that hasn't put into documentation, so that's weird. And then this base URL is HTTPS, and then the mount, I think I have to create this myself. I think I do have to create this folder, but we'll see. It might create it for me. I'll create it. It's not a big deal. I can create it myself. And then obviously you have to put this diffusion that allow HTTP authentication, set it to true. If you don't do that, you won't be able to use it. So I couldn't get SSH to work because it wanted root permissions. I'm not going to allow an application to have root permissions. That's just crazy, right? Because all the applications I've done, they never needed root user permission, so I didn't feel comfortable. Now, if this was running in a container, sure, I could do that, but I was surprised that, so this is a perfect application that should actually be run inside a container because it wants so much root access and things like that. So that's the settings. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see them. So those are the settings there. The base ones, if you only put this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will then need to reload. So you have to put /bin storage upgrade so that they become so the system knows that you have made upgrades. All right. So with that said, and also sometimes you might need to give it permissions. For example, if you're using a Debian type system, it's a w-data. That's the user and the group. However, I'm on Fedora, so that would be Apache. It's just Apache. If you're using Apache web server, and then it tells you what permission to also put, 755. That's obviously to executable by the Apache user. And then here's a sample for the virtual host, and I just gave you, I just showed you mine here, and so again, this is based on Apache, where it says into sub. This is obviously Debian as well. I'm not on Debian, but to rewrite, reload, and etc. to do that as well. And then after that, you also need to start this daemon. I'm not going to start it now because I want to show you one of the problems with Phorge. So let's actually go to the Phorge. I think, yeah, this is the URL. So I'm going to go there. Now, so it should start installing everything by itself. So I'm going to open up a... what's going on? Super weird. Okay, I'll just open up a new, I'll slap it in there. So you see, it says run, because this is the first time it detected I made changes, so I forgot, so I need to run this. I have to do the upgrade. Yes, you have to do it. It's really weird. So we have to go to the command line here and just paste that in. And then it says, are you sure you're ready? Then you put yes. So it's gonna install its own databases. It actually ignores. I shouldn't have actually been created that database because it's going to create its own. You'll see that in a second. You see, it creates its own databases. And tables and all that. See, It created 512 tables, and it's done. Now, if we go back to PHP MyAdmin, remember there was nothing. Now, if I click on this, why can't I see the back there? Database. Oh, that's not the database. So it must have created its own databases. Pretty sure it did create its own. What is going on here? Did it not create them? Okay, let me make this bigger. Okay, let's go to databases. Yeah, see, it created all these databases by itself. See, it ignored this one I created for it. It created its own databases. Look how many databases it creates. It creates by its own. I don't know why it doesn't just put all this into separate tables. Oh, it does have separate tables for each of them. So I guess it needs all those databases. You see, it created 500 and something tables. That is crazy. That's not very efficient. I guess that's a leftover from the old ways. So one more time, remember there was only one database, but it created all of these databases. Why is this like this? I don't like it. Let's go here, databases. Oh, this is what I was looking for. I was trying to show you this, this pane here. Okay, this is the pane I was trying to show you. See, look how many databases. Yes, databases, not tables, databases. And each of these databases, it created this one. See, this one is empty. It didn't use that one. It created its own tables inside each database. Look how many there. That's crazy. Very inefficient. But that's neither here and there. So we go back here. So you refresh the page. And it goes to the welcome. Now I can create my own username. I'll just say Edward. Edward as well. And the email edward@show.local. So we'll create an admin account. You notice it doesn't allow me to put in a password again, which is super weird. Like I said, this thing has a lot of quirks. Okay, then we're here. Now, one of the I won't say anything. So now I thought once this is installed, I can simply go and start creating repositories. Oh no, you cannot do that. So what you need to do is, I said I already added. So first of all, we need to create a user. I might have to create another user. I want to use the same Edward because I don't feel like so at least we you can add an admin user also on the command line, but let's hopefully you'll see what it will tell us. So if we go hit the home button, you have to go to the dashboard. That's where we are right now, and you see in this warning here it says there's no authentication providers, which doesn't make any sense. Clearly I want to use this as a as a Git server. So why do I need to create? Why do I need to enable authentication providers? Should that be by default? It's super weird. Yeah. So and then we go to diffusion here, and I can create repositories. I think I should be okay to create repositories. So let's create a repository. I'm just going to call it, you see, I can create a Git repository or a Miracle or a subversion. So let's create a Git one. That's what I want. So I click here. So it tells me the name. I'll say test PHP. Call sign says the short form. It cannot contain spaces for the name, which makes no sense at all. Okay, whatever. The short version, I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to skip the short name. I'm going to skip the short name, see if you allow me to do, and I'll just say I'll just leave everything as is. Let's see what it would, if it will create it. Actually it did, and you see here's a problem. It's not active. It's still publishing, which doesn't make any sense. And you see there's no call sign, there's no short name, and etc. So it says this is created. It's not active yet. you see, I said this thing has so many corks, so it's inactive. Yeah, inactive. So let me, so let's go view the repository. It's an empty one. That's perfectly fine. So if I want to clone this, if I go to clone, you see there's nothing here. Oh, actually it is. Oh, it actually did it this time. That's because I put those URLs in the virtual host. If I didn't do that, I was not able to do it. So you see, it tells me how I can actually how to clone this. So this actually corresponds. I'll copy this. So so I was only able to get this to clone using I was able to get this using the what do you call it? Let me explain what I'm trying to say. So if we go back to the command line here, we go to the Phorge one here, you see the repository actually doesn't exist because I haven't created it. So there's nothing to clone because the repository is supposed to be here. Remember, repo? So that's why I said this thing has so many quirks. It is unbelievable that someone would actually use this. There are so many quirks. So obviously you click on actions and we go to manage a repository. So under manage, remember it's not activated yet. So let's activate it. So I click activate repository, then it says repository become and use it to begin serving read and write. Okay, so I click activate and look how long it takes. Okay, so now it says it's activated, but then it says it found the Git HTTP backend. Remember, I had to put that in the virtual host. And then it says the pull daemon is not working. Then it tells us use bin/phd space start to get it started. So let's go and do that. Yes, there are a lot of things like this. So when I was researching this, I checked YouTube, I checked documentation. Nobody explained, everybody was showing you how to use the project part, but nobody explained how to actually use it as a Git server. So I had to find that out on my own, and that was a major pain in the butt. So down here, I paste this in, and you see that's a Phabricator. So now that daemon is now actually running. Okay, and you can see where you put the logs in this flash bar temp phd. So now it's running. Let's go back in here. Yes. So I have to refresh. As I said, so now that's running, so everything seems to be working fine. It looks like the storage one is repo. So let's see if it actually created the repo. Yeah, so it does create the repo for you, so you don't have to do it. It does create, and remember it's 1, so 1 is right here. So the repo does exist. Now, you might think that I'm able to clone. I'm not able to clone, and the reason for that is I haven't put the keys. This is what these two are. This is the SSH keys, but it doesn't tell you anything about that anywhere here. And remember, the authentication is still not on, so I have to turn on the authentication. Actually, you know what? Let me try to clone this right now, and I'll see if it works because there's no authentication. I want to see if I can actually work. I can just clone it. I'm going to try. Let's go to the command line, and I'm going to open up another one here. I'm going to go back one. Yes, there we are, and I'm going to. Is this full screen? I can't even tell. Oh, yeah, it's full screen. Let's clean this up as well. Now it's full clean. Okay, this is too big. I want to make it smaller so I can show you what's going on. Okay, so here we are. So I'm going to type git clone. Paste that command in there. You see, it's not going to work because it's because it says it's a self-signed certificate. So what you can do is, if you are using a self-signed certificate like I am, you can put a git what do you call it? You can do export or a variable there. So I'll show you what that is. So you just put git or uppercase git underscore SSL underscore no underscore verify equals true, and then after that space, and then you git clone the HTTPS. So I do that, and then it's asking me for the username. Okay, so my username is obviously Edward. Remember, there was no password, so it's asking for the password. I didn't give it a password because we haven't created one yet, and you see it's gonna fail. It doesn't tell me anywhere. Remember, it didn't ask me for a password. So this is why I said there's so many quirks with this. It is crazy that this is going on. Okay, so what you need to do, believe it or not, it's crazy. So what you need to do is although I enabled the authentication there, this guy has no password. It doesn't tell me anything at all. For example, it's still in the warning, I believe, right? In the warnings here, see there's no authentication providers configured. So I need to configure that. So let's click on that. So it says you have not configured any authentication providers. You should add a provider like a username, password. Can you believe this? That doesn't come by default. This is crazy. Okay, so authentication, auth application. So then I have to pick the providers here. See, there is a login and registration provider. So I have to click add provider. Then it gives me username, password. It has Amazon, Asana, Bitbucket, Discuss. So, and there's also Phorge itself. There's WordPress.com. There's Twitter. Does Twitter still exist? I thought it's not called X. You get it. So anyway, so let's go to username, password. So allow login, allow registration. That's up to you. So I'm going to add this one, and then click add provider. And then you can pick the password hash algorithms. Yes. 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 Can you believe it? So, all right. So it has been enabled. Now remember, this user does not have a username and password when I created it, which again, just bear that in mind. So as I said, there's so many quirks with getting this thing working. So then after that, I'll hopefully, if I go to profile, can I then add a password? Not in profile. Okay. User doesn't belong to any projects, which is perfectly fine. So we'll go to settings. It will be in settings. It has authentication. We can use the SSH keys and password. So here I can, it says reset password. Does not currently have a password. You can choose a password or performing a password reset. Can you believe this thing? Oh my goodness. So yes, I obviously need to set a password. So I'm not going to use SSH public keys because I can't SSH into this, because I said in order to use SSH, I'll need to it wants to do something as a root user. I'm not going to give it root. I'm not going to do that, but I'll show you how you can add SSH public keys and all that as well. So I'm going to reset the password here, and it's going to send an email. It claims it's going a password reset link has been sent to you. If I follow the link, actually there's a way it can also grab the link as well, I think, if I remember correctly. So I hit send email, and then I don't know if you use PHP, I should get that email. So let me check to see if it actually used PHP. If you guys know, I have I guess a catch-all for the email. So it should be in, I think, is it mail or send? I think it's send, send mail. Yeah, new. Hopefully it's here. Okay, I have to go to the end. Why is this not working? Control end. Oh, I think I have to grab one of them. Oh, it's still not working. Wow, it's not working. I can't believe. Why is this not working? Was it just end? Okay, end. Okay, that works. Let's see if I can drag this guy there. Oops. no, this is just a text editor. So let's see if I can open this. Where's my text editor? Here's a text editor. Nope. So it didn't send me an email. I'm guessing it sent it in a different way. So I can't reset the password that way. However, there are other ways we can do this as well. Don't worry. I'll be surprised if the mail daemon is. I think the mail daemon is not working. So that's fine. So it cannot send me a password reset. So let's go back and find another way in order to. So this is the annoying thing because I can't change my password. Right? So that's really annoying. So what we can do is, let's go back to manage. So the other problem is change username. I don't know why I can't change the password. So this is what I was trying to say. It's a very annoying application because I can change the username, but I can't change. I don't want to change the username. So let's try that again. We go to settings, I think it was, and password. Your account does not currently have a password. You know what? Since it doesn't have a password, let me try to clone again. Edward. There's no password. Yeah, see, authentication. So because I did this authentication, it does need a password. So that's the problem. Oh, email delivery. Let me see how email. Maybe I can change some of this. Yeah, see, that's a problem. Is it doesn't. I thought before it allowed me to. I wrote a Jumbo show primary, add new address. I'm not sure how it's sending the emails because I thought it was using PHP. If to access repositories based on server, you must set a version control password. Okay, so I'm going to use a VSC password instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make up a password here. Oh, it already had a password here. I didn't even bother checking that out. Password information do not match. What are you talking about? Password you entered is very similar. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you cracked me up. Okay. So let's try that one more time. So VSC password. Oh, it was test PHP. Sorry, I think it was test PHP. Oops, I made a mistake again. It was 1. It was actually 1, not this one. And okay, so it did work finally. So if we go back here, we should have, yeah, so you see, we're able to clone it. So you have to use the VCS password. As I said, this thing has so many quirks. Yeah, it was really frustrating to set up. This is the funny thing is using a container, Podman container. I was able to get GitLab. I was able to get what's the other one? I already forgot the other names, and they were all pretty smooth. Oh, Gitty, and it's the fork of that one. No problems at all. This one was super frustrating to get started, but there you go. So I think my video and my article will probably be the only one where I show you how to use Phorge and Phabricator for Git cloning, especially with the HTTP access, HTTPS, and get it run if you're using a self-signed certificate as well. So there you go. So you're able to clone, and obviously I'll show you this folder as well. There's nothing in it, but do not fret. There's a hidden folder, and inside the hidden folder you have the config file. So let's see how I open up in the text editor. So you can see here. So it's already set to it. It's using master branch. So that's what I said. So it's using the master branch. It's perfectly fine. And then we have HTTPS. You see the proper URL. So this forge.local, I also put it in my /etc/hosts file. So it's localhost anyway, but that's perfectly fine. All right, so that's the URL we copied from the clone one. I would not use HTTP, always use HTTPS. I think HTTP is a leftover from a while back. I'm not even sure if that would work. I'm sure it does, but I wouldn't use that because that is so unsecure. All right, now let's cd into our repo here, and I'm going to add some very basic, let's see, I'll touch test.php. Okay, so then I get rid of the hidden files. I mean, not show them, test.php. Let's open this up in the text editor and just add some basic PHP here. So obviously you need a PHP tag. What in the world? PHP, and I'll just say echo hello world. So that's it. And you can see now it's a real PHP file. Back to the command line here. Very simple. All you do is we need to do a checkout first. So just say git checkout -b master. So we're now in the master branch, and then I'll just say git add test.php, and then git commit -m, and then the message in double quotes. I'll just say first commit. You see there, and then I'm going to push this. So I'll just say git space push space -u space origin space master, and then you said unable to push. Okay, and the reason for that, if you remember again, we have to add git _ssl _no space verify equals true. And there we go. So it's asking me for my username again, and then for the password. There we go. So it's pushed it. So that's how you can push. Now we go back in here. We go to the dashboard, and the dashboard it's diffusion here, and you can see it says one commit. So we can actually look at my commit. And that's the commit. You see it says Edward first commit. Remember, that's the one I created. I can actually look at it. You can look at the code, and you see the code says test.php, and how many branches are there? There's only one branch, which is the master branch, and there's no tags. And I can click home, and you see this is it here. So it tells us what branch we're on the master branch. And for actions, we can manage the repository, we can view push logs, we can view sync logs, pull, and we can flag for later. And again, the clone, as you guys saw before, and we can look at the history, and there's only one commit, there's only one file in there. So there we go. And it tells you our PHP diffusion, it tells you on test PHP master. So you can also use this to pull repositories as well. So for example, if you just want to like a read-only repository, it's a perfect way to look in here. And I said I was really frustrated with this application because you have to spend so much time on the command line or tweaking settings. Now it's good in a way in that you can get it to work exactly the way you want. I mean, you can set up exactly the way you want, but I said it was really frustrating. So I was like pulling my hair out. But however, it's not bad. So I am going to, that's basic. I'm going to end here just to show you that you can use Phorge for as a Git server. I'm not going to spend too much more time on this, but there you go. So for example, if I click on test.php, I haven't done this yet. Oh yeah, I can. So it does have a built-in, it does have syntax highlighted. It's a little bit small, but it does have syntax highlighted. It's color-coded, so that's perfectly fine. It shows what file, what other things I need. I wonder if I can actually edit this one. Can I edit the code like most of them you can? Looks like I cannot. I can look at it. So view, it just says view options. There's no edit. You can change the so it looks like this is just for viewing. It doesn't allow you to. You can also look at the raw file, and then you can add some actions here if you want, and you can submit them as well. So for example, you can sign it as well if you want. So let's so there we go. So that's basically it. Now there are a lot of tutorials out there if you want to do other things such as projects. People have done lots of those, even on YouTube. There's so many of them. Those are the ones you see, but nobody had one where it is used as a Git server. So for Git, again, you have to use diffusion. Manifest, I believe this is the one for creating a wiki. No, that's for creating tasks. So you can create tasks like to-dos and things like that. If we go back to the dashboard again, it's differential. You can create a diff. If you don't know what diffs are, I did create a bunch of tutorials as well this year, actually 2025. You can see whether you basically compare two files or two folders of two repositories, and it will show you what the differences are, even right down to line by line code. And what else is here? Friction. Oh, the friction is the one for the wiki. So you can create a wiki document for if especially for instructions and how to use and links and stuff like that as well. So I don't know why it says edit because I don't have one. Oh, it says welcome to friction. I guess that's a document. So if I click that edit, is that what I'll be able to edit? Oh, there's nothing there. Okay, and then you can see the preview down there. So I'm not going to create one. I'm okay with it. So that's friction. And you guys have seen the project. As I said, the people, there should only be one. Edward, yeah, that's correct. And the auth I showed you guys, and then there's config where you can configure it. So as you can see, by default it has PHP 8.4. Diff is 3.12. So this is installed on my system. You can even see the location. I'm using PHP FPM, of course. The Git is 2.51.0. That's the location from this one, which I put inside the virtual host so that Phorge can use it. And then the other stuff like pigmenticize. I didn't realize that's actually an application. Okay, that's there. And I'm not using Subversion, but if I add Subversion, it will be here as well. And you can also extend it to see the settings, the setup issues, services, and then the extensions and modules. So for example here, you can see like needs review, needs revision, change planned, accepted, published, abandoned, etc. And you can see all that stuff here. So Let's actually go to settings. I want to show you settings as well before we, where was I, config was it? Setup settings, yeah, this one, the config settings. So you can see here, account editable. So this one, I don't know why it's not checked on. Oh, well, these are the ones that checked on, I'm not sure. Yeah, so there you go, user fields, etc., real name, and all that stuff here. And then you have advanced settings, like for example, Amazon EC2, Amazon S3. Yeah, so it has a lot of things, but I said you have to pick and choose. It's one of those applications where you set up for your particular use case, but it takes a little while to get set up. It's not one of those where you just install and boom, you're ready to go. So even you have a reCAPTCHA there. Yeah, so it has quite a few things. Okay, so let's go back right to the dashboard, and as you can see, we have the recent the active repositories. I didn't create any revisions, I didn't create any tasks, and obviously I didn't create any projects. I just created the repository. All right, so let's finish this up. I have some screenshots here of how I installed this. You see when I used the git clone depth, and you see this is what it tells me. It told me what commands to run, which I did, and then when I did the storage, and then after that it was telling me, oh, it told me to run the, what does that say? The upgrade. You also have to run the upgrade, and the upgrade will then install those 525 tables over those databases, which I thought was super weird. So as you can see, then welcome screen, you guys saw this. It's a weird thing, there's no password because it doesn't have the auth, if you remember that, and there was nothing in the dashboard. And then I created the repository, and then it took me a while to add the authentication, which I did. And then I was finally able to clone. I used HTTPS instead of SSH. The reason one more time, the reason I didn't use SSH is because it doesn't run SSH unless it controls it by root. So I said no way, because if this application is compromised, my root user will be compromised, which I can't afford to do. So that was a big no-no. And then the git clone results and the git push, those are all there, and you can see the same thing as well. Now to prove I'm live, I click this button. Unless it controls it by root. So I said no way. There we go. So we're live. Now, if you want to learn more, I have programming books and courses, whether you're just getting started or want to go deeper into development. I've created useful resources just to help you. I have programming books on Amazon. Search for Eduardo Jambo. The link is also in the description, all in the article. And I also have online programming courses at jamboshop.com. The links are also in the description. If you need help, if you'd rather not install Phorge yourself or need assistance migrating Git repository or setting up your own development environment, I'm available for one-on-one programming tutorials at ojambo.com/contact and installation and migration services at ojamboservices.com/contact. So my final thoughts: Phorge gives you enterprise-grade developer tools without the cost or complexity of closed platforms. If you value open source, control, and flexibility, it's an excellent choice. Give it a try and feel free to reach out if you like help setting it up. Before I let you guys go, I do have two other resources I would like to mention. One is if you're looking to get Starlink, SpaceX Starlink residential service, I do have a referral link. I will get 1 month free if you actually do purchase the service. So you can purchase the service anywhere you are in the world, and you also get a discount depending on your geographical location. Okay, so the link is there. That's one way you can help me out on the channel. And I am also promoting my book. It's this is a, I guess, a non-fiction book. Is it a fiction book? It's a novelette. So it's called The Algorithmic Servant. It's available on Amazon. It's non-programming, of course. It's about, you see my name there, Eduardo Jambo. It's about a scientist who creates an AI, and then he loses control of it. Now he has to regain control. And as you can see, it's a pretty nice psychological Thriller. It's available in paperback, and it's also available in ebook form. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can actually get it for free. Again, I made it as cheap as possible, so it will be as affordable for everybody. All right, and also all my other resources, I still have a bio as well, so you can read more about me. Any article, you grab any article and it take you, for example, the books. It have a link right to the book page on Amazon. And if you need support, I have the ojamboservices.com/contact. You can go straight to the form and fill that in. And if you need to learn, I also have the link to the Jambo Services, ojamboshop.com courses page. All right, now with that said, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Now with that said, I'm checking the live chat. I don't see any chat requests. I'm going to end this live stream, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Bye now.